So under new business, we have our pilot elementary teacher program. And we're going to hear information about a joint program between Missouri S&T and Rolla School District. It's a pilot elementary teacher education program that promotes science, technology, engineering, and math, better known as STEM education. So I don't know who we have.
This is Dr. Mandy Welch. She's the
Okay.
new person at Missouri S&T that works with Dr. Jana Nice in the Missouri S&T
Okay, great.
Education Department. And Dr. Welch also, she's a former elementary school principal in Smithville and has moved back, was by Kansas City, moved back to this area, has done a good job, great job in her transition. And she also helps facilitate a pilot project we have with Halliburton in our classrooms at the middle school too. So recently we had members from Halliburton here to tour the investment that they've made in the children in the schools. So welcome to Rolla, formally to the Rolla Board of Education, Dr. Welch. We're glad to have you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be able to share with you tonight a little bit about our program and also the partnership that we have together. You may already have some of those details, but hopefully tonight I can provide it for you. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to entertain those at the end of the presentation. Several of you have already heard a little bit about this, so I apologize. You're going to get a double dose tonight. You'll be experts by the end of the evening.
It's nothing compared to your
This
I put them through. I
We
put
can
them
do
through
that
more
one.
than that. Another one tonight.
Yes, well, I'm excited to be a part of this program. I come from the education background in the K-5 setting. I've spent some time in the regular ed classroom teaching students at 4th and 5th grade, and then in the last 10 years I've been an elementary principal. So when this opportunity came about, I thought it was an exciting new adventure, and I certainly have a love for public education, and I love the opportunity to get to be in your schools, to come and observe my pre-service students in your classrooms, and what an excellent job your teachers are doing. And everyone's been so gracious to welcome us and have us. So already we're off to a great start, so we appreciate that. If you'll go ahead and advance. Wanted to tell you a little bit about our program tonight. And before I get into too many details, I'll just let you know how it kind of came about. Missouri S&T has had a secondary education program for about 30 years, so you might be wondering now why all of a sudden do we have elementary coming on board? And it really stemmed from the Department of Education. They reached out to Missouri S&T about 2 years ago and said, you know, you guys have very high quality students that are graduating at the secondary levels. We know that by the data that we collect for assessment scores. Would you consider looking into an elementary program? And really what they were most interested in was having elementary teachers who would select an area of emphasis in math or science. They didn't have any data to support that it was low choice for teachers, but they suspected that that was the case. So Dr. Jana Nice, who is the director of the teacher education program, began to do a little research. She called around to 7 different universities, just getting some data from them regarding their pre-service teachers who graduate with elementary education certification. Everyone who graduates with that certification has to select an area of emphasis or a focus area. Now, based on coursework, everyone gets a social science emphasis area. So most people just generally choose that and take the coursework that's required and don't seek any additional emphasis areas beyond that. If they do, the majority of them select reading or an English language arts, which we know is absolutely important. However, if you watch anything on the news in regards to priorities at the federal government and our state government, we know that STEM-focused opportunities is a huge push right now. We know that 50% of our technical workforce is getting ready to retire, meaning we're going to have a lot of open jobs, and about 80% of new jobs that are created have a STEM focus, are in one of those 4 areas. So again, DESE saw that need to have a preparation program for teachers that would emphasize math and science. So that is exactly what we have created and we're working towards. There are 41 programs across the state if someone were interested in getting their certification in elementary education. So they have 41 different options that they could look at. Those would most likely be an opportunity to earn their Bachelor's of Science in Elementary Ed. If you come to Missouri S&T, you are actually going to earn a degree in multidisciplinary studies. So it's a Bachelor's of Art in Multidisciplinary Studies. And what that allows us to do is to have the flexibility to provide that emphasis in math or science. So all of our students have to choose one of those areas before they graduate. So how does that look different than another typical university? One of the things that they would have to do is take courses such as college algebra. They would need to take trigonometry, and then they would have additional coursework in relationship to teaching methods, learning strategies, pedagogy, all of those important things that they would then apply in the classroom. So they have classes additionally, such as statistics. They need to take computer science course. So they're just getting a much broader exposure and really becoming more of an expert in those fields of math and science. They would need to have science courses beyond what a typical elementary education teacher would need. They would have a chemistry course, a physics course, a couple of biological science courses. So they're really being exposed to a broader base, which we hope in turn gives them the knowledge and the confidence to then turn around and go to their classroom and be an effective science and math teacher. Most of the time, in my experience with classroom teachers at the elementary level, they often do not feel comfortable teaching those concepts simply because they have not had as much background in those areas. So by providing them the opportunity to participate in these courses, develop that knowledge, that understanding, they're better prepared when they go into elementary classroom. Just like any other program, our students are certified to teach 1st through 6th grade with their elementary certification. I mentioned that they have to have the math or science focus. They can choose other areas as well, and they would take hours in those particular focus areas. All of our elementary education classes have what we call an embedded credit. So it is important for us to have our students in the classroom right away. We know that they need the theory, they need that pedagogy to learn methodology, strategies, but we also want them to see all of those things in action. We want to see them applied right away. And so each of their courses, they spend 2 of their 3 credit hours on campus, and 1 of that credit hour is where they're out in your public classrooms, participating with a cooperating teacher. They have specific tasks that they need to complete throughout the semester, and then at the end of the semester where they have to use those experiences to draw upon their knowledge for the final assignments. In relationship to just having a STEM focus, I mentioned that they do have to take lots of coursework in those math and science areas beyond what a typical elementary ed student would need to take. But they will also have some opportunities to experience or help work in summer science camps and math camps that are offered at the university. They will have some additional opportunities to participate in Project Lead the Way at the elementary level. And I know you guys are all well aware of what Project Lead the Way is. But for those people who perhaps are not as knowledgeable in our community, I just wanted to share, I've mentioned the word STEM. Well, what exactly does that mean in an elementary classroom? Well, we are looking for students who are able to problem solve. They're able to come together and collaborate with a team of students to come up with unique solutions to problems. We really want students to be able to have that hands-on learning where they're developing the knowledge. Their teacher's there to help facilitate that process and be kind of that guide on the side, but we're moving away from the model where the teacher is the expert and they're there to deliver all of the knowledge that students need. We really want students to construct that. So our coursework is designed around those theories or those methodologies in the classroom. So I have just a quick video on why is it important for us to move this direction and focus on a STEM elementary classroom, and hopefully this video will highlight the importance.
Experts agree. Millions of American students need to be trained in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to meet future needs. But why exactly is STEM education so important? STEM-related job opportunities will increase by nearly 17% over the next decade. STEM STEM is its own stimulus. Not only will it put more Americans to work, but it will also increase the amount of income they bring home. STEM employees earn up to as much as 26% more than colleagues in non-STEM positions. But to take advantage of these opportunities, American education has to do its part. The good news is that such efforts are already underway and working. In the 10 years between 2000 and 2009, the amount of low-income fourth graders who were performing at or above basic levels in math grew by 27%. Getting more kids to be college and career ready by embracing a love of science and math will really pay off. 8 of the top 10 college majors in terms of income generation are in STEM fields. And because it will play such an important role in the future of America's workforce, STEM education is vital to the country's continued economic prosperity. Enhancing American students' proficiency in mathematics to the levels achieved in countries like Canada and South Korea could raise the value of the next 80 years of American economic growth by as much as $1 trillion per year. That's right, $1 trillion a year. With projections like that, there's no doubt that STEM is the new national education imperative.
So for our elementary teachers, these pre-service teachers that we're getting ready to put out into the field, why is it important that they have this background knowledge? We believe that that's where it begins, is in elementary school. When students come to us in kindergarten, all of you, I'm sure, have been around a 5-year-old at some point in time. You know that their favorite question is why. They would like to know why about everything. They have lots of questions. They're curious. It just is their natural tendency to want to know how things work. And so somewhere along the way, we lose that from students. And we believe that by preparing elementary teachers to encourage and foster that type of questioning and propose problems where they have to critically think about things and solve those things together with a team of their peers, that we are going to hopefully encourage that love of math and science. All of these people that go into these STEM fields don't get to college and just decide, oh, I think I really like science or I really like math. By 4th grade, research shows that students have already decided, am I good at math? Am I good at science? Do I like these subjects? And so we know that we need to capture that audience very early and encourage their love for those things and let them know that they can absolutely be great at science and math and that they should explore those fields moving forward, because we know it's going to be vital to the success of our nation. The final piece that I wanted to share with you was just about the elementary version of Project Lead the Way. You're very familiar with the high school setting and what that looks like. Project Lead the Way has recently launched a new curriculum for the elementary, and it's kindergarten through 5th grade curriculum. There's a lot of flexibility as far as the modules that they offer and where those can be taught. So myself and Jessica Zink, who is a 5th grade teacher here in your district, Dr. Davis selected her as just kind of knowing that she would be eager to learn and willing to go out and tackle this new project, and she has been a delight to work with. So she and I have been to Project Lead the Way training for the elementary curriculum and have both earned the certification to be titled what's called a lead teacher. And then she and I have come back to your school district and have spent a day with your 5th grade science and math teachers, and we have provided additional training to them in regards to the Project Lead the Way model. And that particular training was really all about the methodology, the pedagogy behind how we're going to approach instruction in the classroom, that it's not a lecture model, that it's very much so hands-on, it's the project, problem, activity, project-based learning, and understanding the 5 questions in the engineering design model and how that applies to the curriculum that they'll be teaching. Moving forward then, those 6 teachers next year as part of this pilot program will participate with myself and my pre-service teachers. Will be teaching a science methodology course at the university, and those students, when they need to complete their embedded credit hours, will go into those 6 classrooms and cooperate with your classroom teachers to learn that Project Lead the Way curriculum and be implementing that in those classrooms. So we are very thankful for the partnership with this district. We're very excited to get this next step of the ball rolling. We hope that if we can find some great success here, I know those teachers are They're excited. They were pumped up after we left that training, ready to go right away. And I believe that their enthusiasm and their excitement for what they're doing in their classrooms will just spread to other teachers in the building as well. And so, eventually, we would love to see this in a K-5 setting where all students would be exposed to this opportunity, and that your teachers would all be provided with this excellent professional development that would help them to move forward in their ability to instruct students in math and science.
Very good.
So I'll entertain any questions that you guys might have at this time.
So how many students do you think will be going through this program at S&T and then ultimately in
Well,
our schools?
we're a new program, and so last semester
know
we
one
started with
that's-
4.
One that's going next year.
We've already doubled. We have 8
Yeah.
this semester, and so of course I have several students that I've met
Yeah.
with about prospectively looking at the fall. So I believe that when the word gets out and spreads, that people understand how important this is and what kind of an edge this will give them as a pre-service teacher going out into the workforce, to be able to have this on their resume and to say they're already Project Lead the Way qualified to teach in those classrooms. I think they'll be very desirable candidates for school districts such as yourself. So it's just a matter of time and spreading the word. But certainly I hope that we continue this pattern of just doubling our numbers each semester.
Great. That is good. Exciting. Thank you.
So and Desi's watching, right?
They are watching, and we are only one of 2 districts, or 2 universities that have been selected by Project Lead the Way to have a partnership like this.
Who's the other?
Someone in South Carolina, University in South Carolina. So we will begin the process of working with them exactly how we can go about utilizing their curriculum and getting our teachers to have that qualification before they leave. But we're excited about that partnership as well. And again, Desi brought this idea to us, so I know they're excited, and hopefully we can create a model that others across the state can utilize and even across the nation. So
I'm really
I think-
glad to see the certification going down to the elementary,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
been, well, it started, you had to be a vocational instructor, right, to be certified in it, but I'm excited about this.
And we're hopeful. I'm sure you heard the governor's proposal that there would be a $2 million line item budget for school districts to apply for funds for the elementary Project Lead the Way curriculum. That hasn't been approved yet, but if it doesn't happen this year, we hope it'll come back again next year. And so we expect a lot of school districts to be implementing that as we move forward.
Well, and I think those skills, I think, occasionally you get criticism of the emphasis on STEM, but I think those problem-solving, critical thinking skills, those translate no matter what career you're going into, social sciences, arts, it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Those are great skills to learn, whether you want to become an engineer or a scientist or whatever you want to do. So, and I think you're right. I think that needs to start as early as possible.
It's very much in line with what the Missouri Learning Standards are asking school districts to do anyway. It's just a great quality curriculum
Yeah.
that's provided for schools, and the professional development that goes along with it is excellent as well.
Good. We're excited.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for being here.